Greetings everyone and welcome to the Studio 41 Reviewapolooza. So in this, I'm going to be reviewing a couple of games that I found were worth talking about, but at the same time, I never thought about going into making a full review about them. So without wasting any more time, let's kick off this Reviewapolooza with Super Monkey Ball 1 and Super Monkey Ball 2. Alright, so if you knew me back in 4th grade, you would know that I played this game all the time. Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, these were two games I played about as much as Sonic Adventure, and even more than Super Mario Sunshine. So, is there anything for me to say about Super Monkey Ball 1? A game that I was told not to get because of the fact that it was inferior to Super Monkey Ball 2, which I had gotten earlier at the time. Well, Super Monkey Ball 1, I'll say, it's different from Super Monkey Ball 2 in terms of it doesn't have a story or anything, and the levels aren't exactly designed to be after certain things or anything. They're just merely mazes for you to solve. But if there's one thing I will say, is that I am happy I got Super Monkey Ball 2 before this game, because had I gotten this game first, I don't know, I would have completely lost my mind, because this game, especially in the later levels of Advanced, Expert Mode, can be insanely difficult. Like, it is later in Expert especially. And Master Mode, I'm not even going to talk about that, since I couldn't even make it there without going through all of Expert without dying, which, for me, I've only played Expert Mode once, because the last time I did it, I died so many times that I had to take a break from the game a few times, and overall it took me maybe about 4 hours to complete. So yeah, Super Monkey Ball 1 didn't really leave that great of an impression on me, and I would go back to practice some of those levels. Only problem though is that my disc got broken a few years back. Well, not completely broken, it just got scratched badly, and as of right now, I can't find like a disc fixer for GameCube discs, and I don't want to risk using it on the disc fixer I currently have. So until then, I'm probably not going to be going any further into Super Monkey Ball 1 in terms of single player. It's just something I pick up every once in a while, maybe play Advanced or Expert maybe for a little bit until I either get bored or just I get tired of dying all the time. In terms of its multiplayer, you get 3 mini-games at the beginning, which I'd say are pretty decent, at least for its time when it was out for, I think it was about a year until the second Super Monkey Ball came out. And, I mean, they're okay if you have friends over. It's just, when you play them by yourself, like either if you're trying to practice to getting good at them or anything, it's going to be fairly boring. And you unlock the 3 extra mini games just by completing the single player, which be prepared to play some of the higher levels though if you want to get enough points to score for the mini games. But other than that, I've never really played multiplayer that much with my friends on this game. The multiplayer in here just isn't as fun, and overall, this game, like my friend said, was pretty much made obsolete by Super Monkey Ball 2, and I'll agree with him over that. You know, the only reason I would get Super Monkey Ball 1 is just out of curiosity and just to see how the series began. So with that, we'll move on to the much better game, Super Monkey Ball 2. I have so much gameplay in this game. I can't even begin to tell you how much time I spent on this game. Hours upon hours upon hours. And 4th grade was when I was at the top in terms of this. Now, at the same time, I had just gotten my GameCube, and this was actually one of the games I got along with it, along with Super Smash Bros., Rogue Leader, and I think maybe Mario Party. And so, seeing that I had already played Super Monkey Ball 2 at my friend's house, I figured I might as well just get the game myself and try out the whole thing. And it got me addicted big time. I don't know how, but it just did. So, Unlike the first Super Monkey Ball, there's actually a story element in this game, which, in contrast to Sega's other popular series going on at the time, Sonic, this game isn't really that serious at all. I'll just summarize the plot in the best way. You got an evil doctor named Dr. Bad Boon who plans on stealing all the world's bananas and turn them into curry using the not arc from Sonic. Though, like, he kind of has a space station that's sort of like the colony arc. So, but other than that, yeah, it's a real simple plot. There's really not much to go from it. It's just another one of those cheesy, lighthearted plots, kind that people wish were still in Sonic games. So aside from that, in terms of its difficulty, it's a lot less difficult than Super Monkey Ball 1. Aside from maybe, I'd say a good 20 levels in Expert and Master. And this is actually a game that I have completed 100%. Time well spent, I guess, but was it worth the rage? Well, let's just say my GameCube doesn't want to talk about it, so we'll just leave it at this game was actually, yeah, one of the first games that actually got me to rage big time. And I'm talking furious rage. And I don't think I've actually raged at a game that bad ever since. So, is there anything cool about multiplayer? Yes. The multiplayer is a lot better. The games you start out with are essentially everything that's unlocked in Super Monkey Ball 1, so you get all the multiplayer games from that, as well as 6 additional ones that you get from playing either campaign or through the, I forgot what it's called, it's not the practice mode, but it's some other mode where you can just play through the levels on, like, you know, easy, medium, hard, and master, and you can just earn points, unlock these mini games, and go wild. And trust me, they were a lot of fun. With my friends and my brother and his friends, we probably played Super Monkey Ball 2's multiplayer more than Sonic Adventure 2, and it was even up there with Mario Party. So this is definitely a game that's worth getting, especially for a multiplayer if you're looking for a multiplayer game on the GameCube. And if you're just curious about the Super Monkey Ball franchise, I would give it a try, even if you're prone to rage. But hopefully, if you know the tips and tricks to these games, you won't be able to rage as much as I did. And if there's one thing about Super Monkey Ball is that getting through levels often involves a lot of creative thinking on getting through levels. So aside from that, that's Super Monkey Ball, and we'll move on to the next game. Civilization Revolution. I know there's probably not much to talk about it, seeing it's just simply a Civilization game ported to consoles, but yeah, let's talk about a little bit about it. So, Civilization Revolution, it wasn't my first Civilization game, seeing I had tried out Civ 2 and Civ 3 on PC many years ago, and when I heard about Civ Rev, I thought, yeah, it seems like a fun little console game I could try out. And when I got it, I pretty much liked it. I played a lot of it. I've gotten plenty of achievements on it just from playing as every nation. It's a fun game to play when you really don't have much to do. You don't really feel like doing much, but at the same time, you want to play, like, say, like a Civilization game, but you don't want the game going on for hours and hours like PC Civilizations games do. Thing is, when it comes to seeing this game today, there's a lot of inconsistencies that bug me in this game, such as how certain military units can be defeated by inferior units. The naval combat is a pain. Every once in a while, the frame rate will drop big time whenever there's too much going on. And just the fact that pretty much by the time you reach the modern era, it's endless war. And that's really it. Oh yeah, and you also get the dumbest demands from other nations, so that bugs me too. I don't know, I've been playing Civ 5 more often, and I'm liking that game a lot more. To me, Civ Rev has just lost a lot of its appeal since I first got it in 2008. And is it worth playing? Well, when it was free, it was definitely worth playing. And I think even now, I think the game still actually has a pretty decent price of like $15 to $20. I think if you go to GameStop, I think. But other than that, it's really just something if you're interested in a Civilizations game for a console. Other than that, I think it's safe to say you could skip Civilization Revolution and just go straight to getting Civilizations on PC, because you're going to really be bothered by the lack of things to do in it, lack of technologies to research, things to build. You're just going to feel really limited, and even with the DLC that came with the game, it's still pretty limited, at least in my opinion. So, other than that, on to the next game. Oh, Titanfall. Why do I have mixed opinions about you? Okay, I just want to get this out clear. Yeah, it's pretty much, at least in my opinion, Call of Duty with mechs and parkour and double jump, even though now Call of Duty is pretty much slowly ripping off Titanfall in its quest to become more relevant. So, to me, Titanfall, I just have mixed opinions about the game, since I honestly will admit Titanfall can be fun every once in a while, but it's not something I'll religiously play like a certain someone I know on this channel will. It never really appealed to me that much, and it certainly wasn't worth the $60 price tag. This game was definitely better off being half that price. And even if all that money was supposed to be used, I guess, to maintain the servers, even those servers every once in a while still are pretty crappy. And even now, you know, as fewer and fewer people are playing this game, it's just becoming a tad bit harder to find people in certain lobbies. For the most part, the game still holds up well, and they've changed things over time since I first got it, which to me doesn't really bug me that much. I'm more so like just indifferent to a lot of things about Titanfall. I may sell it, I may not, who knows. Other than having my only good game in this video right here, Titanfall just never really held up for me that well. I mean, I honestly think it could have been better. They could have added more modes to it. They could have added a better story, other than the one I'm convinced is even less than Destiny. Yes, I just went there. Other than that, Titanfall, it's just fun every once in a while. But I would definitely wait until there's a more decent price drop on the game. But aside from that, it's fun to play every once in a while. Only if you're bored or you have really nothing to do, or if you're just sick and tired of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, or I don't know, if you're gone nuts and you're even tired of Master Chief Collection or any other first-person shooter multiplayer online thing, whatever it is you're playing on Xbox One, or PC. So aside from that, we're on to the last game, and here it is. Destiny. Yeah, I know I'm cheating a little bit, seeing that I did have a part in the review for Destiny with Jeff a while back, but there's a few other things I kind of wanted to talk about. So aside from the lack of story in the game that, you know, I was really disappointed in, the complete monotony of just the gameplay in general, seeing that this game favored horde modes, a bunch of defending Ghost for a completely pointless reason, essentially, since nothing happens if, you know, the hordes reach you or anything. He doesn't die or anything, or get, you know, impede any progress or really do anything. You know, I thought the no respawn modes were completely pointless and essentially overstayed their welcome for the most part of the game. And essentially, if they wanted to do that, they should have just had Destiny with checkpoint systems, essentially like COD. Yep. I'm just pissing more people off today, but yep. To be honest though, I will admit this, and damn. I think I'm going to cause the comment section or people going to riot, but I honestly had more fun with Destiny than I did with Titanfall. I'll admit it. There's just, I don't know what it was. I just thought there was just more to do, I guess. You know, aside from just running around, shooting people, which, as redundant as that sounds, seeing that's essentially the same thing as Destiny. Either way, I equally found both games both disappointing and essentially games I considered selling for my Xbox One, but you know, I may at the same time may not sell them, seeing if anything interesting pops up on those games. So along with that, I also didn't really want Destiny to fail, because as much as I at first thought Destiny was just another Halo clone, except in, I guess, even if you could say it is like an RPG, like MMO style, I just never really thought it would actually turn out this bad, seeing it was Bungie. But then again, when I heard Activision was publishing it, it definitely, you know, alerted me that, yeah, there's going to be some dirty deeds behind the game. And not to mention, too, that if you go online, I think it was the LA Times actually published the actual agreement that they made with Activision, where not only would Destiny be this 10-year-long franchise, it wouldn't be this one game that would last 10 years. Instead, there would actually be games released every 2 years. So we prepared in, I believe, 2016 when we see Destiny 2 coming out. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. So until then, it's Destiny. There's really not much to say about it. I know it's funny. If you really want a better opinion on Destiny, go check out Jeff and I's review of Destiny on our channel. And along with that, thanks for watching the Reviewapolooza. This is Matt from Studio 41, and I'm out of here.